Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Leisure Geek podcast. This is Phoebus Byron. And for this podcast, two quick topics I just want to talk about. One, missions, California missions to be exact. And two, Legos. So, all right. Intro music, please. Okay, so first topic. First, I'd like to talk about missions, specifically the missions in California. Now, there are 21 missions that are about 30 miles apart from each other, and that basically totals approximately 650 miles. And the missions start from San Diego to Sonoma, California. Not going to read all of them, but if you're interested in all the 21 missions that are out there, check out www.visitcalifornia.com and look for California missions. Now, I have visited 8 of them, not all at once, but on various road trips. I must say that I've enjoyed these road trips and the mission visits. My family and I keep it pretty much simple. We like to visit the mission for about an hour or two, then obviously check out the architecture, the landscapes, and the museums. But afterwards, or possibly even before, depending on the time that we have in the area, we also like to check out and see a little bit of the town close by or the town surrounding it. It's great to see a little bit of California history, and it always amazes me just how life was in general. I don't know how my kids see it, how they saw it when we visited these missions. I don't know if they see it as boring or, obviously not as exciting, but I do know that obviously on a road trip, they do enjoy the fact that, we're all spending time together. I personally enjoy road trips. I enjoy driving. When I drive, I find it soothing. That's just how I am. But especially on these mission road trips, obviously the best part is not only visiting places that I haven't been to, but also just checking out, the coastline, Highway 1. And yeah, it's a beautiful drive. And yeah, if you haven't done it before, I definitely recommend it. It's a good thing to experience. But I must say, out of the ones I have visited, my favorite one so far has been the mission at San Juan Capistrano. It's located basically, it's in San Juan Capistrano. It's about, let's say, 30 minutes away from Anaheim, about an hour from San Diego, in between the two. I enjoy that mission not only because of the old architecture, but obviously they have the museum and the landscaping. And going back to the architecture, it's really cool actually that the walls of the old church within the mission, most of it's there. A lot of it was basically damaged through an earthquake, but what they were able to still have, it's pretty cool to see where the old church was. But again, going back to the area, not only is the mission historic, but actually there are buildings that surround the mission that are also historic. These buildings now house restaurants, shops, and it's actually pretty cool to see some of these businesses, and they actually do call out the historic feature of the buildings. So it's definitely want to check out. If you're interested more on the mission at San Juan Capistrano, go visit the website www.missionsjc.com. Again, that's www.missionsjc.com. Check it out for more information on the area. It's definitely one of the missions I do recommend you guys check out. Whether you want to check out the mission or not, it's a great little town. Food, and a little bit of just a little bit of entertainment. Something that I believe well, not all of you will enjoy, but I enjoyed it, and hopefully you do. So, but back to road trips, and obviously I was on a on a mission to see these missions. Yeah, I know that was horrible, but besides the mission road trip, I do know that I do plan on, and I hope to go on a road trip on that have other destination points, and basically a list that I want to check off. One would be to check out the lighthouses off the California coast, take some sunset photos of these lighthouses. Obviously, I don't know if I can do that all in one shot. Probably have to do a few road trips, go to one spot up Northern California, check out the lighthouse, check out the area, and then come back home, and then just repeat it until I possibly see all the lighthouses. Another thought would be if my family and I go on another road trip down the coast, not all the way from San Francisco all the way down to San Diego, but maybe halfway in between, let's say San Luis Obispo down to San Diego. Just check out some of the food. I'm a foodie. I love seafood, so being on the coast, that's something I definitely like to try. And then obviously enjoy the scenery. Highway 1, again, if you haven't made that drive, you got to check it out one day. But I'd like to get your thoughts. So what would be your road trip list? Are there any specific points or interests you'd like to see? And it doesn't have to be in California. It can be anywhere in the United States or even abroad. So, and let me know, what are your road trips that you have envisioned? Are they detailed or are they easy? So are you planning on hitting, if you go on a road trip, do you like to plan out to hit out so many spots within a day? Or is it easy to where you're hitting one or two spots and then, you kind of relax during your road trip? So I know we're all different. We all have, things to do, and we all like to go on vacations differently, but I'm just kind of curious. Let me know your thoughts, and let me know about how you guys like to road trip. So that's the end of the first segment. Again, that's road trips, missions, and on the next segment, let's just talk about Legos and how it's just not a toy for everybody, but I do believe it can be used in a proper way. All right, we'll hit you up in the next segment. Okay, so segment 2, talk about Legos. I know in the past segment I said, yeah, Legos is not for everybody, but I was just trying to say that it is for everybody. The words just didn't come out right. I believe Legos are not only for kids, but definitely for adults, especially those who are thinking of and inspiring to be mechanical designers. I have a background in mechanical engineering, and I do know that with Legos, they do inspire me, and it's something that I do use as a reference once in a while. They're good resources, as I said, also references, inspiration for design, from the simple mechanisms to connections and linkages. It's really cool to see. I'm sure most of you knew this, maybe not, but either way, for me, it's awesome to see what can be made just with a little bit of thought and imagination, especially with these things that some people just call toys. As an example, case in point, a simple mechanism that my son and I basically designed. It's basically switching a light switch from the on position to the off position. My son is currently actually working on and in the middle of a STEAM project. STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. But not only is it a STEAM project, but they're also incorporating some elements as far as helping the environment. Now, his project is pretty simple. It's an energy savings design, But not only is it simple, but we're looking for a way to make it fun. And he came up with this idea, and it's actually a cool idea for a way to have someone remember to turn off the lights as they leave a room. Um, Basically, the design has a sign which is connected on the end of a rope, and it hangs in the middle of a doorway. Now, the rope goes up and over the door. It actually goes through 2 pulleys, comes down the door on the side where a light switch would be, and then the rope comes down and up and through another pulley, and then that rope ends up at this light switch mechanism. So what would happen is a person would come through the door, they're leaving the room, they see the sign, reminds them, please turn off the light, save some energy, help the environment. They pull on this sign and the rope, and through the series of pulleys, the light switch that's already there is switched off through the pulley mechanism and through this light switch mechanism. Now, the challenge was coming up actually with that light switch mechanism, and we were fortunate enough that we had a ton of Lego sets, mounds of Legos to our disposal. Obviously that helped, but look through the Lego sets and some of the vehicles that were already put together, and I was actually able to find this vehicle that was already built, and it had a mechanism in it, and I looked through it, and then I saw linkage, and that linkage actually kind of brought a little bit of inspiration to that could be used to flip the switch, flip the light switch. Now, disassembled the vehicle, unfortunately, I had to do it right for my son's project. Disassembled it and changed a couple links here and there, and we mounted it onto the wall right just above the light switch, and it worked great. This light switch mechanism worked as soon as we tied the end of the rope to it, which is obviously the end from the pulleys. And having my son try it out for the first time, he saw me mount it, but I had him test it. Having him see that it worked on a design that he thought of, it was great. I mean, he lit up, and he just wanted to actually flip the switch on and off again using this mechanism and his pulley design. So it's really cool, but it's just great to see again how Lego can be a source of inspiration as far as something as very simple as this light switch mechanism. Building Lego sets, they're fun. I've obviously built a few sets with my kids, but I do know that creating something new is even fun and even better than just building a set. It's just obviously coming up with something, using your imagination, and putting something together that hasn't been done. It may have been, but for us, it was something new. I know, yes, I did geek out on this whole project. My son may have not enjoyed it as much as I did, but the best thing for me is, and it's okay, but the most important thing for me was that through this process, he learned something with regards to design, and just going through the process of coming up with something different, new, and using Lego as a source of inspiration to create something. So my question is now for you guys, love to hear from you. You may chime in if you can. Basically, has Legos inspired you? What have you made through seeing Legos? Have you made something different? Have you taken some sets apart and created something new? Or, do you just like building sets in itself and then, putting multiple sets together? Again, I'm just kind of curious to see your thoughts, and get back to me if you can. There's more information on this light switch mechanism on my blog. You can see a picture of it, or you also can check out my vlog on YouTube. Again, search for the Leisure Geek. My blog is at theleisuregeek.com. Again, that's theleisuregeek.com. And yeah, you can see a little bit of that light switch mechanism. But anyway, that's it for now. I have something coming up next week. It's fun and exciting for myself, so I'll see how fast I can get a podcast to you. But for now, yes, just to recap, missions, road trips. Love to hear from you guys with regards to your road trip ideas. What have you done? What did you like? What you didn't like? And then also Legos. Just curious to see, what have you made lately? Has it inspired you or your kids to create something new, go into design, mechanical design? Possibly will it lead them to engineering? And just see the possibilities of what Legos can do. So that's it for now. This is messed that up. This is the Leisure Geek podcast. This is Phoebus Byron. Yeah, we'll talk to you soon.